They share a borderless culture, a legacy of Pan-African dreams, and decades of trade and migration. But beneath the surface of Ghana's bustling cities, tension brews. Nigerians must leave. They are too loud. They are too rich. They are too many. This is the underreported story of why some Ghanaians want Nigerians, especially Igbo, out of their country. The Nigeria-Ghana rivalry has been for as long as both countries have existed. Both countries have dwelt together like tongue and teeth in the mouth. Nigeria has a larger population compared to Ghana. Ghana's population halts around 30 million. But long before oil made Nigeria rich, Ghana shone bright, its economy fueled by gold and cocoa. Then came oil, gushing wealth and sudden power. Nigeria surged forward, its economy booming, altering the regional balance. This and many other variables constitute reasons for the rivalry between the two countries. Two proud nations, rich in culture and ambition, forever measuring each other in silence and in song. Politically, the British colonized both countries, leaving them with similar political ideology and system of governance. Thus, Nigeria and Ghana have a lot in common. A Nigerian is much more at home in Ghana, and the same applies to a Ghanaian. One colonizer. Two proud republics. Similar struggles for freedom. In the whole of Africa, Nigeria and Ghana are the most knitted emotionally, culturally, commercially, and otherwise. In fact, it is difficult to differentiate a Ghanaian from a Nigerian, even among fellow West Africans. So the competition between the two nations is like what is obtainable in a big African family tree, where everyone jostles to outsmart the other. For decades, Nigeria and Ghana have seen a two-way flow of people. But the largest group of Nigerian migrants in Ghana are Igbos, known for their business acumen, resilience, cross-border trading. From Kumasi to Tamale, Igbos have built thriving businesses, spare parts, electronics, real estate, even transport. But their success has come at a price: visibility and resentment. In 2020, and again in 2022, tension flared. Ghanaian traders accused Nigerians of dominating the retail space, selling too cheap, breaking trade laws, operating without permits. Hundreds of Nigerians' owned shops were locked, some were vandalized, others shut down permanently. Ghanaians argue that the Igbos are taking over their customer base, leaving local traders struggling to compete. They question how they're supposed to survive when buyers now flock to Nigerian-owned shops, offering cheaper prices or more variety. The Igbos, on the other hand, argue that they're not stealing jobs, they're creating them. In fact, they claim that the majority of their employees are Ghanaians. But this isn't new. In 1969, under Ghana's Prime Minister Kofi Bizia, over 2 million West African migrants, many of them Nigerians, were expelled under the Aliens Compliance Order. Just 14 years later, Nigeria returned the favor, expelling nearly 1 million Ghanaian during its oil crisis. The scars of these events still shape public memory, fueling distrust across generations. Some say the problem isn't just business, it's cultural. Igbos are known to be expressive, entrepreneurial, and unapologetically successful. In conservative Ghanaian society, that can spark quiet discomfort or public outrage. But critics argue, is this truly about law enforcement and culture, or a fear of competition in a fragile economy? Some political figures argue, how can Nigerians, especially the Igbos, come to another man's land and act without humility? They walk with pride, as if they own the place. They go further, making serious accusations, claiming that Igbos top the numbers in local prisons, are heavily involved in prostitution, and are even linked to ritual killings for money. Some political analysts argue that the real problem isn't Nigerians, it's the weak enforcement of trade laws. They point out that Ghanaians are victims of the same corrupt system, where rules exist but are rarely applied fairly or consistently. In election seasons, politicians sometimes exploit anti-immigrant sentiment to gain votes. Nigerians, especially the outspoken Igbo, become easy targets. Nationalism becomes xenophobia, and brotherhood becomes a burden. But this rhetoric ignores the truth. Nigeria and Ghana are more intertwined than divided. Not all Ghanaians want Nigerians out. Many appreciate their entrepreneurial spirit, their cultural richness, and their role in Ghana's modern economy. But what people do want is fairness, regulation, respect, integration, not domination. The challenge is to turn resentment into reform, not removal. Nigeria and Ghana are pillars of West Africa, culturally, economically, historically. Their unity is essential for a stronger continent. But mistrust, economic hardship, and political games are cracking that unity open. If we fail to protect African brotherhood, we risk becoming strangers on our own soil. Lost in all the noise are the voices in the middle, the peacemakers, the bridge builders, the people who see beyond nationality. They know that integration is not instant, it's a process, and it starts with empathy, fairness, and shared responsibility. All across Ghana, quiet efforts are being made to bridge the gap through dialogue, mentorship, co-ownership of businesses, and community projects. But these stories rarely trend. They're not loud enough, not angry enough, and yet they may hold the answers we need. The bigger question remains, where do we go from here? Ghana and Nigeria must lead the way in redefining migration, trade, and coexistence in West Africa. Not through expulsion, not through fear, but through structure, through strategy. Strengthen ECOWAS protocols on residency and trade. Modernize immigration laws to reflect today's realities. Protect local businesses without scapegoating foreigners. Educate citizens on their rights and responsibilities. This isn't just a Ghanaian story or a Nigerian one. It's an African story, one of migration, identity, survival, and hope. If we cannot live together as brothers, we may perish together as strangers. Is Pan-African unity just a myth? Share your thoughts in the comments.